I stand with teachers. That is the complete sentence. Yesterday, we saw a lot of things being swung back and forth. And so I'm going to explain some things to you. Bargaining, negotiations happen at the table. Both sides come to the table with their offers, and then there's a negotiation. Bargaining also happens, unfortunately, in the court of public opinion. Sometimes both sides use that tactic. But yesterday, the government went full fucking force to devalue and discredit teachers and school boards, really. This was a post by Nate Horner. It says what the government was going to do, it voices their disappointment, and then it puts the blame. Now let's recap. Earlier, Nate Horner gave us our quarterly information on how things are going. I find it ironic, maybe it's just coincidental, that anytime we find ourselves at a pivotal moment, usually involving bargaining, the province is impacted by oil drop. Prices per barrel are impacting the ability to provide services to Albertans. This is why we say we need to diversify our economy. Because if we're banking on oil all the goddamn time, it's like riding a roller coaster without a seatbelt. But more than that, the government wants you to believe that they are giving so much to teachers. The fact of the matter is, they're still trying to make up for all the shit that they didn't do before. Providing 3,000 more teachers should have been done before. Building schools should have been done before. You're just catching up to what has been needed for years. So don't pretend like you're giving so much. Also, the 12% that you're offering teachers, 3/4. Sure, it's different than what you were offering everybody else when everyone else's bargaining started, 7/4. But teachers and government workers and healthcare workers have gotten the shaft from this government for over a decade. Zeros to be specific, and then teeny tiny little crumbs. Horner's saying that the 12% is generous because the data shows that that is comparable and they have no interest in going above market. What you fail to look at in your data is what teaching looks like in the various other provinces, of which you are comparing Alberta. Class sizes and resources. Those differ by province. The work environment for teachers in Alberta? Not easy, as you have them having to go through every goddamn book in their library, checking the undercarriages of children to make sure that they can play sports, spending their time taking phones from kids, figuring out what pronoun to use, having to now have a discussion with the child to say that we can't use that pronoun or name because the government doesn't think you're worthy of making your own decision. You're adding a lot of stuff onto the role of a teacher. Plus, the number of students has increased exponentially. Don't you go blaming immigration. So yeah, the dollar amount, based on your data, may look similar, but the practicality of what's happening in a classroom is not, based on UCP policy. And then Nikki Nicolaides has the absolute fucking audacity to play shocked that the primary concern for teachers is wages. Are you daft, sir? That's rhetorical. Nikki, that means I already know the answer to that. Of course wages is important. It's important to everybody in bargaining. Absolutely, language is important also. But money is important to everybody. Just look at what Horner said yesterday. Money is important. Then on the back end, you have Danny going on the defense. After she said the other day that school boards must be mismanaging things, yesterday she said that she believes that school boards are doing a good job when she was trying to tell everybody that no, that book list isn't what we wanted. Yeah, it is. Go read your ministerial order. And so she's blaming the school board. If there was an award for buck passing, this UCP government and all of its ministers, including our premier, top fucking tier. You're blaming the school board for pulling books after creating a ministerial order saying they need to pull books. I mean, Margaret Atwood knows what's going on. She knows what's going on in Berta. You're sitting there blaming the teachers for not only wanting to be valued, but for wanting the resources to provide a safe education for children. You blame everybody else. We don't have money, it's Ottawa's fault. The feds are giving the disability community $200 more a month. We can't have that happen. It's the other province's fault. I don't want to separate. It's the separatists' fault. But everything that you do is a result of the things that you are now blaming other people for. And then Nikki and Horny are trying to convince Albertans that it is the teacher's fault. Nay, not just the teacher's fault. It is the president of the ATA's fault. You know there's like a bargaining committee, right? You know that the bargaining committees take feedback from their membership and move those wants forward. Like negotiations isn't just, hey, for the government, we're going to give you this pittance and you're going to accept it. It's a back and forth. But when the fourth that you are giving is the bare fucking minimum, you don't get to stand at a podium and pat yourself on the back and then blame teachers for not caring about students and parents because we don't want work disruption. You don't want work disruption? Pay people fairly. You don't want to go above market? You went pretty fucking above market when it came to that Tylenol, didn't you? $800 a bottle seems pretty above market. I urge all Albertans, although the court of public opinion is important, please know that the UCP are liars. They will pass the buck to divert blame at every fucking opportunity. Teachers don't want to strike. Teachers want to be in the classroom with their students. But teachers can't also continue to put themselves at risk and do a job at their own peril, emotional, physical, and financial. Maybe if this government spent less time on committees and fucking useless panels, there would be money to give people who do very important work for this province. I mean, you guys gave yourselves a raise, right, Danny? And just as an aside, as part of bargaining, there can either be a strike or a lockout. Let's see what happens. Because if the province locks teachers out, it tells you they don't give a shit about your children or education in Alberta. But I'm sure they'll find a way to pass the buck on to somebody else. Fuck you, UCP. I stand with teachers.